When you don't have any money, it's very easy to think that having money is going to change everything for the better. And it's just not the case. So talking about that dark truth of making millions of dollars and what does life look like at that point and what is the reality in terms of how does it change your day-to-day activity, life, and everything else. I'll tell you from my perspective, going from someone who didn't have any money to now having some and being able to see, looking back, how that change happened. And so one of the first big misconceptions is that when I have money or when I make $1 million, that my life is really going to materially change in a huge way. Now, you might, at this point, let's say you're living with a roommate and you don't have enough money to go out and have a dinner once a week. You're pretty much scrounging and cutting out coupons. If you end up making $1 million, yes, that is going to change materially how you live. But once you go from having enough to where you can go out any day of the week, you can get a car that you like to drive around and live in a place that you like to live and not have to have a roommate if you don't want to have a roommate, and you have your own place. Once you get to that point, there's really no material difference. That changes very drastically. Maybe it's going to travel. Maybe you start to travel a little bit more, right? And nothing from a few years ago until now, nothing truly has changed that makes my life that much more exciting or that much more easy in a sense, right? And I think that's an important thing to think on because yes, when you have money, certain things in life become easier, but also certain things become harder. So things that you never had an issue with before, like paying taxes and trying to mitigate taxes and trying to do things to where you're using that money in the best possible manner, become a task that you never had before. And maybe you don't have to think about, hey, for vacation this year, instead of looking at certain dates because there's cheaper airfare, we can afford to fly on whatever day we want to. That's great, right? And it does offer some benefits. Having money does not make you happier. If you are thinking it's going to, you're going to be gravely disappointed. Some of the most unhappy people I've ever met are multimillionaires. And if you have an issue in that part of your life, that's not going to make it any better. And so first misconception is it's going to materially change everything, right? And it's most likely not. Second is it's going to make you happier. It's not, right? The things that make you happy and give you joy are things that are not related to it's relationships, it's faith, it's health. Those are the things that bring joy and lasting happiness. Because once you become a millionaire, or once you make your first 100,000 or $1 million, you're going to have a new goal, right? Now you're going to get there and be like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. I must make 2 million, or I must make 5 or 10. And you realize that when you get there that, okay, now I have to put the goal even higher because I still don't feel like I've accomplished it. And you never will, because that's a bottomless pit in terms of thinking that is going to fill a void that you have, right? Which is why we focus on your faith or your family or things that are actually going to fulfill you. There's a lot of different paths to become wealthy. My path went through business acquisition, right? And of course, I'm a big proponent of it. You guys can watch all the other videos I have on my channel, and you can see that's a huge thing that I promote to do. And I think all you guys, when you check it out, you might agree with it as well. But there's a bunch of ways to get there. And the joy for me has been in the journey. It's been working really hard, grinding for 18 months to get my first acquisition done. Once that's happened, then, okay, now I'm doing my second, my third, my fourth, my fifth, my sixth, my seventh now, and to continue on down this path. Like, I find joy in not necessarily what I'm making at the end of the month. I get the joy in overcoming obstacles to continue to build out that portfolio of businesses, or it might be real estate or stocks, whatever it might be. That is enjoyable for me, and that's the thing that I wake up excited and energetic to do. So I guess the last question on this would be, like, if you're thinking that in order for you to feel successful, in order for you to feel happy or accomplished, you need to be a millionaire, the answer is no, you don't. And it's something that you can feel happy and fulfilled and accomplished making $50,000 a year or nothing at all. Because at the end of the day, that type of stuff that fills that void has nothing to do with the amount of money that's in your bank account. Right? So changing that shift in terms of your perspective. And I think it's important as you start your entrepreneurial journey, or you're going out there and you're hustling and you got all these side hustles, by getting your mindset right in the beginning, by figuring out what you truly believe, what is truly your purpose, and how you can fulfill. That is what's going to give you the mental strength as well as a healthy perspective on life. That is not going to make chasing wealth an addiction. It's going to make it a byproduct of you doing life really well. And I think that's super important for everyone who wants to go down that path. Get your mind right, get your spirit right, get your health right, and then continue on the path of whatever you're doing or building or acquiring and building wealth, because you're going to be a much better millionaire, a much healthier person, much more enjoyable to be around than if you wait until you have all this money and then try to work on the things that need to be fixed.